For anyone new to the channel, I'm Linda.
And I'm Troy.
This is Desi.
Fall weather has finally arrived, and it's got us thinking about one thing. Fall camping has returned.
Yes, but along with fall camping, a lot of times means campgrounds. So today's video, we're going to talk about how to be a good campground neighbor. So we're going to go ahead and give you 10 campground do's and don'ts. The first 5 are kind of ones you've probably heard before, as they are some of the more commonly complained about.
Yeah, and we've also got 5 for you that maybe you haven't heard before, or at least not as often. Yeah, we've probably all accidentally broken 1 or 2 of these rules over the years.
I know we have, and we're going to mention it as we go through. And if you're feeling brave enough, go ahead and mention your faux pas down in the comments below. So let's get started with those 5 common ones. First off, obey the posted speed limit. There are kids, there are dogs, and a lot of these campgrounds are dirt or gravel roads, so a lot of dust can get kicked up. So guys, keep it under 5. Next up, turn off those outside lights when you go to bed. Now this is one that we have been guilty of, and we do apologize to anybody that we kept up accidentally. So we now have a routine. At the beginning of quiet hours, we go ahead, make sure the dog is walked, and we do a quick walk around the camper. All of this is just another way of being a good campground neighbor.
Try and avoid cutting through people's campsites. You know, they're all there to have a good time. Everybody likes a lot of, their own space. It's easy to do when you're leaving your campsite and you're headed to, say, the camp showers or the general store or what have you. But keep it in mind, just another way to be a good neighbor. First part of this is if you're going to take off for any length of time and leave your pet locked up in the camper, be mindful of the fact that your pet, may be barking the entire time you're gone. That can ruin somebody's day if they're in the adjacent campsite, so keep that in mind. Part 2 of this, number 4, is that when you're walking your dog and taking care of things, be a good neighbor. Obviously, clean up after the little fella. They don't need to see the little presents left behind.
Number 5 is follow those quiet hours. When it's time, go ahead, move the party on inside. While you may be enjoying your vacation, there's a lot of people that are full-timing now and have kids, and they have to get up early in the morning. Quiet time doesn't mean just wrapping up the party. I don't know how many nights that we have almost been asleep when somebody goes outside and slams that trailer door, or yells at their spouse to throw them the car keys, or goes outside and just yells at their dog to hurry up and finish up. So when they say quiet hours, it doesn't just mean a party. Try to keep the noise level down completely once the time has come.
Number 7, shouldn't even have to come up, but folks, when you're dropping your black tanks and there's a family next to you in the campsite and they're all sitting outside eating, that may not be the optimum time to pull that black valve. Number 8 is one of my personal pet peeves. When people are trying to back into the campsite, that's probably not the time to come out of your camper and stare and watch them do it or try and help unless they ask for help. It's always difficult when you're new backing a camper for the first time, and even for a veteran who's done this 1,000 times, it's kind of unsettling to have somebody trying to chime in with helping you. When I was trying to wedge it into a very tight back end spot, extremely tight, I had to cut it really hard, and because I was trying to get it right the first time and people were standing around in the street, I actually cut it too hard, and the back of my truck nudged the front cap of my trailer. So this one's my personal pet peeve. Number 9, do not be a data hog. We all have a lot of peripherals. We all have a lot of computers and phones, and all of these take up bandwidth. Think about the fact that you're in a big campground and everybody's using everything they have simultaneously. One of the biggest complaints in the campground industry, I think, is that they have poor Wi-Fi. But you have to consider all of us using all of our stuff all the time. Linda and I have unlimited Verizon, so more often than not, we'll dial directly in and use that as opposed to the campground's Wi-Fi system. But that being said, try and be considerate of what you're doing and how you're doing it, especially streaming movies and things like that.
Okay, so we are on to the last one. This is number 10, and this is all about campground fires. First part of this is bringing your own firewood. Now, a lot of RV parks are asking now that you do not bring outside firewood in. One of the reasons is because you could introduce disease or bugs from one part of the country to the other part of the country. So we like to follow the pay it forward method. We have been very excited to get to a campsite and realize somebody left us a bundle of firewood. So if we are wrapping up our trip and we have some leftover firewood, we go ahead and leave it. It's all part of being a good campground neighbor. Okay, part 2 of number 10 is don't cut down trees. We see this more and more on those little pamphlets they give you at campgrounds, and we can't believe that this is actually an issue. But we did talk to a campground owner where he was asking us if we saw anything, because all of the newly planted saplings that he had were all cut down to use for firewood. So guys, if it has roots, let it live. Okay, and the third item is be aware what you are burning inside your fire pit. One of the big things, and I did not realize how dangerous this could be, we have not done it, but gathering up brush to go ahead and put in your fire pit, if something like poison ivy is in here, people that have severe allergies to poison ivy, it can be very hazardous to their health. I have seen horrible pictures of children whose faces are twice the size that they normally are from breathing that poison ivy. So be very careful what you are burning inside your campground fires.
So that's our 10. Now, each and every one of you out there may have some that weren't found on this list, so please feel free to put them in the comments below. So Linda, what's on deck for next week?
You know, Troy, I haven't decided yet. So if any of you have some ideas of things you would like to see, please leave those down in the comments also. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see more, please remember to
like and subscribe.
And Desi here always wants you to hit that notification bell.